Have you ever wondered how a single cell bacterium and a complex plant like a rose can both alive? Welcome to the world of life incredible variety. Today we are diving into Unit 2 of IGCSE Biology, the Organization of the Living Organism. Let's make it super simple and unforgettable. Welcome to the BioMentis, your home for IGCSE Biology made easy. Hit that subscribe button and let's learn smarter, not harder. So, my IGCSE students, here is the unit number 2, Organization of the Living Organisms. So, here these are the outcomes. First one here is the cell structure, and second one here is size of specimen. So now let's move on to the cell structure. So firstly, we should know about the cells. So cells is the building block of all living organisms. So we can say that cell is the basic structural and the functional unit of all living organisms, because all living organisms arise from the cells, and afterward these cells unite together to form the tissues. So in this way we can say that the cells is a basic structural and functional unit of all living organisms. Now let's move on to the cell shape. So firstly, the animal cells are round or irregular in shape, while the plant cells are typically rectangular in shape. Okay, now here is a size of these cells. So the plant cells are 10 to 13 micrometers, while the animal cells are 10 to 13 micrometers, while the plant cells are 10 to 100 micrometers. All right, okay. Now here is their energy references. So we all know that the animal cells are unable to make their own food. They are totally dependent to the food for the other organisms. So they do not produce their own energy, while the plant cells have ability to do the photosynthesis. So in this regard they produce energy. So the animal cells store energy in the form of glycogen, while the plant cells store energy in the form of starch. Okay. Now let's move on to the cell organelles. So here are the cell organelles of the plants, and these are the cell organelles of the animals. Okay. Now let's move on to the structures of the cell structures. Firstly, here is the cell membrane. So the cell membrane control what goes in and out of the cells, because the cell membrane is a selectively permeable membrane, so that allows only smaller molecules, and that smaller molecules could be the ions, can pass through easily, while the larger molecules, that could be the proteins, lipids, cannot pass through. All right, okay. Next here is a cytoplasm. So cytoplasm is a clear jelly-like substance in which the chemical reactions take place. Here is a nucleus. So nucleus contains the genetic material, the DNA, your genetic material. So that's why the nucleus control all activities of the cell. So for instance, for the protein formation, all the information is present in the nucleus in the form of DNA. All right. Okay, now here is a mitochondria, and this mitochondria is also known as powerhouse of the cell, because the aerobic respiration is taking place in mitochondria, because and as a result of aerobic respiration, energy is also producing in the form of ATP. All right. Okay, now let's move on to the ribosome. So ribosome is an important organelle because in which the protein synthesis is taking place. Protein synthesis means the formation of a protein. So, and you know that the basic unit of the proteins are amino acids. So these amino acids are joined into the sequence to form the protein synthesis. All right. Okay, now these are the organelles of the plant cells. So plant cells also contain the cell wall. So the cell wall is rigid and hold the shape of the cell, and they also strengthen the cells. Vacuoles are also present into the plant cells and that contain the cell sap and help them to rigid. So chloroplast is also present inside the plant cells, and this chloroplast contain the chlorophyll, and chlorophyll is a green color pigment that absorbs light for the photosynthesis. All right. Okay, now let's move on to the structure of bacterial cell. Bacterial cell also contain the cell wall, plasma membrane, DNA, cytoplasm, ribosomes, pilus, and the flagellum. All right. Okay, so now we will talk about the specialized cells. So what are the specialized cells? So specialized cells are designed to carry out a specific role. So, and for the specific role they also have a specific component. For instance, the ciliated cell that is found inside the lining of the trachea and the bronchi, and it is adapted to move the mucus upward. Similarly, here is a root hair cells that found near the end of the plant cells, and it is adapted to absorb water and mineral salts. All right. Okay, here is the xylem vessels that is also present in stems, roots, and leaves of the plant cells. So, and it is adapted to transport water and mineral salts, and it also helps them in sport. Next, here is a palisade mesophyll cells. So these are also present beneath of a epidermis, and it is also adapted for the process synthesis. Next, here is the nerve cells. So these nerve cells are also present throughout the body of the animals, and it is adapted for the transmission of information. All right. Okay, next here is the red blood cells. So the red blood cells are also present in the blood of mammals, and these red blood cells are also responsible for the transport of oxygen, because the red blood cells contain a red color pigment that is the hemoglobin, and hemoglobin transport oxygen around the body. Next, here is sperm cells and the egg cell. These are present. Sperms are present in the testes, while the eggs are present into the ovaries, and these fuse together to form a zygote. All right. Okay. Next, here is the levels of organization. So firstly, we all know that cells are the building block of life, and afterward these cells unite together with the similar structures and performing a specific function. For instance, the nervous tissues is responsible to transmit information, and similarly these group of tissues unite together to form a specific function. So for instance, the brain is an organ, so the nervous tissue performing the organ brain, and afterward these organs unite together to form its related functions and performing the organ system. So for instance, the brain forming your system, that is the nervous system, and here is an example of the circulatory system too. All right. Okay, now here is a magnification. So What is magnification? Before to start the magnification, you already know about the microscope. So microscope is just an instrument that is used to see the object that can't seen with the help of naked eye. So here is magnification is a property of the microscope. So it helps to enlarge the image. So so we can find out the magnification here. Magnification is equals to image size divided by the actual size. So if you have to find the image size, then image size is equal to actual size and multiplying by its magnification. And similarly, you can find out the actual image, that is equals to image size divided by magnification. All right, okay. And here is also an example here. Here is a length of the tulip flower, that is the 15 meters. So the length of the tulip flower is 15 is the 15 millimeter. So we'll write 15 millimeter, and according to formula its actual width is 5 millimeter. So the both units are same, which will cancel out and you will obtain the 3. But sometime it may comes into the exam in which the units are not similar. Sometime micrometers into the millimeter, and sometime millimeters into the micrometer. So you have to convert the millimeters into the micrometer by multiplying the 1000, because 1 millimeter have the thousands micrometers. All right, okay. If you found this video helpful, imagine how much easier your entire IGCSE biology journey could be with the right guide. So don't stop here. Hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell icon. And if you have any query, please ask me in the comment section. Let's keep learning, let's keep growing. See you in the next video.